You want to hear content about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia 76ers? That's straight to the point, no nonsense, no over-the-top shenanigans. Say what we got to say and keep it moving. Then you made the right choice coming to Nikki Steve's channel, so stay tuned. All right, Sixers fans, I got some great news today. The good news is we're in first place in the Eastern Conference after our victory last night against the Brooklyn Nets, 123-117. We're in first place in the Eastern Conference. So that can be a big factor in who we play. And if in the playoffs in the first round, if the season ended today, we'd get the number 1 seed. We'd play the Charlotte Hornets. And matter of fact, while I'm still saying that, I'm going to read the standings because I got my browser. I'm on NBA.com. I got my browser on ESPN.com on their NBA standings for the 2020-2021 season. And, I'm going to read them off from my screen. So the standings as of today, April 15th, 2021, around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as of the recording, are the Philadelphia 76ers in first place, the Brooklyn Nets in second, Milwaukee Bucks third, Atlanta Hawks fourth, Celtics fifth, Knicks sixth, Miami Heat 7, Charlotte Hornets 8. So those are the standings for the Eastern Conference as of today. As of today, we have the number 1 seed, and we beat the Brooklyn Nets 2 out of 3 times in the regular season. And that could be the difference between first place, and that could give us first place. I mean, it's still not official yet, but that'll definitely help, and definitely something to be happy with. We get first place. And while I'm still at it, I'll read off the Western Conference seedings for those of you that want me to read those off. At Western Conference, Utah Jazz in first, Phoenix Suns in second, the Clippers third, Nuggets fourth, Lakers fifth, Portland Trailblazers sixth, Dallas Mavericks seventh, and Memphis Grizzlies eighth. Those are the standings in the Eastern and Western Conference as of today. So last night, the good thing is we beat the Nets. We beat them 2 out of 3 times in the regular season, and that gives us momentum going into the playoffs. However, let's start with the obvious. With the Brooklyn Nets, the win against them last night, it doesn't feel as good as it should. Or let me reiterate it. We beat the Nets, but we didn't beat their main guys because, as you guys know, of all the big players, the only major player playing was Kyrie Irving. Blake Griffin was out, Kevin Durant was out, James Harden was out, and LaMarcus Aldridge. Well, I'm about to switch subjects temporarily. Now, when LaMarcus Aldridge did sign with the Brooklyn Nets, I made a video. I was more so venting about the super team concept now. The NBA, it's gotten out of hand with these super teams and how you get 4 or 5 guys, 5 all-stars on the same team. Gets ridiculous, and especially if you're a fan of, and your team's never been on the favorable end of it, like with the Sixers. I still stand by that. However, unfortunately, with LaMarcus Aldridge, due to his health concerns of irregular heartbeat, he had to step away from the game of basketball, and he made the decision to retire. Now, even though LaMarcus Aldridge was with the Nets, I don't like the Nets. Obviously, they're a division rival and a conference rival. And especially with the way they built up their super team, it's easy not to like them as an organization. However, LaMarcus Aldridge having to retire, it's a shame. When somebody has to retire due to circumstances out of their control instead of walking away on their own terms, that's such a shame to see. It is. I mean, unfortunately, it is a part of sports and it is a part of life that sometimes people will be forced to walk away, or they're in a position where they have to choose between the game and their long-term future. And LaMarcus Aldridge, he had to choose between continuing to play basketball or focusing on taking care of his health in the long term and his family. But it's such a shame he was forced. He was in a situation where he felt he was forced to retire instead of retiring on his own terms. I mean, technically he did retire on his own terms, but being in a situation where he had to choose between his long-term future and his safety, that's not the circumstances any star wants to go out under. That's never the circumstances you want to go out under. So I do feel bad for LaMarcus Aldridge. I most certainly wish him well, and I hope he gets healthy. I wish the best for him and his family in the future. Back to the Sixers. So when we got the win against the Nets last night, the only main guy playing was Kyrie. So while it was a good win, it would have been a lot more special, to have Harden, KD in the game, and Blake Griffin. We beat those 4 guys with the Nets. However, At the minute, this is still a regular season win, but at the same time, draws. You got to realize, come playoff time, we got to play the Nets in the playoffs. Probably he's talking Eastern Conference Finals. Say, then the good chance we have to play, KD, Kyrie, Harden, and Blake Griffin all active. That's going to be a different story. The real question is going to be with the Sixers. They play the Nets in the playoffs. They got to play their main four guys. How do the Sixers play against those guys? Because last night, out of the four main guys, they only had to play Kyrie, which obviously everyone already knows that. So, but hey, it's still nice that we get the number one seed, and we should have the number one seed clinched. However, there are some things that concern me about the Sixers going forward, particularly how well they're going to fare in the playoffs. One of them I already alluded to last week was Ben Simmons, particularly Ben Simmons in his games where he doesn't show up offensively. Like, remember last week, Sunday against the Memphis Grizzlies, where Ben Simmons did not show up? That's something that had me concerned. And I said that's something that had me lose confidence in them going into the playoffs. And I stand by that. You can watch that video. You click on the icon top right-hand corner. Another thing that concerns me about the Sixers is some of these losses they've been having to teams that they should be beating. Like last week, we lost to the Memphis Grizzlies, and we also lost to New Orleans Pelicans. Those are two losses right there that have me concerned about how the Sixers are going to perform in the playoffs. For a team that struggles against teams like the Pelicans and the Grizzlies, and remember even other games. Remember they lost that overtime game to the Cavs. They lost to the Pistons when Embiid was out. So they've had a habit of underperforming in games they're favorite to win. That does have me a little bit concerned about how they're going to do in the playoffs. I wanted to come up here and just give my brief thoughts on it. So I'm happy the Sixers are in first place. Eastern Conference, we can get the number one seed with this, which I'll be proud of. That's definitely great improvement. But I did also have some concerns, like I said, particularly Ben Simmons' performance and the Sixers' performance against teams they're favorite to beat. I just wanted to come here and give my brief thoughts on it. And, of course, LaMarcus Aldridge is just retiring. But that's all. So to everyone that watched, as always, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel and you haven't done so, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. Also, make sure you smash the like button to show your support. Feel free to comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of the Sixers win last night. LaMarcus Aldridge retirement. Let me know what you think. And most of all, to everyone watching, have a wonderful night or day. Nikki Steve signing off, and I'll see you for the next one. For more content like that about the Philadelphia 76ers, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new vid.